Nice, hello and welcome to round one. So we are on the draw against JHK. Not too sure what they're on, which will be pretty interesting. This hand is sadly probably a throwback. It's a one-lander. The Green Sun Zenith can go and get something like Dryad Arbor, but I don't think it's worth keeping here. So I'm going to throw this back. I don't want to really keep a one-lander, and I want to make sure that this Green Suns can go and get something like Gaddock Teeg if we are up against Storm. So the three drops as well don't really help, and Green Suns is most likely going to be a 3-drop, so we'll definitely mulligan this. This is a little bit sketchy. It doesn't really have a plan. I like to think that an opening hand should have some sort of story in how your next couple of turns are going to play out. And this is really just playing land drops. If we do draw into some sort of fetch spell like a Knight or a Elvish Reclaimer, we do have the combo online pretty quickly, but it's still not looking too good. It's a case of, if I had this as a 5, would I keep it? And I probably would. I don't think it's that great going down to 5. I mean, we have a turn 1 play, and we do have some interaction with Wasteland. We also have half the combo, so I'm going to keep this. I'm going to drop probably the Snow-Covered Forest, because now we have access to double white with the fetches if we draw into something like Tomik. And the one Snow-Covered Forest is more than enough against a Moon deck. Pendlehaven Lanois Elf. Okay, so this could actually be Elves, which I think is the obvious giveaway. The Reclaimer's kind of nice. It's a matter of, do we want to Wasteland this turn, or do we want to play a 1-drop? And it's definitely a pretty interesting choice, because Reclaimer can get there. Getting Reclaimer online is really good for us if we're wanting to go the combo route. The Wasteland strategy can be nice. If they have another Pendlehaven, it's a little bit of a waste, but if we draw into something like Mox Diamond as well, it doesn't really put us back. So I'm actually pretty happy here to probably Wasteland our opponent. I really want to try them, slow them down as much as I can. So seeing them actually go ahead with that non-basic straight up is pretty interesting. It looks like playing this creature first might mean they have a Cradle in hand. Green Suns for 1. So this is pretty scary. Wirewood and Korean Ranger, of course, are pretty brutal. Crop rotation doesn't do a whole lot. If we quickly go to our list, there's nothing that really stands out other than maybe getting a Wasteland, but that's pretty tough as well, because our opponent's going to have a pretty good amount of mana. They do have 3 cards. I think here we kind of have to crop rotate for a Wasteland. So I'm pretty happy to do that. Not really where I want to be, but you know, we have enough mana in hand to actually cast our spells later on anyway, so this is really just a case of most likely keeping our opponent from being able to go off too fast. Reclaim is going to be a 3/4 now as well, which is quite nice. Dryad Arbor, okay. So let's just fetch up a Savannah here. And play Reclaimer. This is actually a matchup I haven't played yet. Elves is probably the deck that got hit hardest by Ren and Plague Engineer, but there has been some really nice ingenuity lately, and a lot of players have been 5-0ing with it, so that's awesome to see. Actually, with Elvish Reclaimer in the builds, which is pretty interesting. Nothing from my opponent is really interesting. So what do I want to do here? So because we have Ancient Tomb in the list, if we play this stage this turn, we can get a Ancient Tomb the following turn, and then untap. But we won't have enough mana to activate Elvish Reclaimer and Thespian Stage. But I still believe that's pretty good. So I'm just going to play Stage and Pass. I don't think my opponent's going to play anything like main deck Abrupt Decay. So I don't think that's worth playing around. Glimpse. Okay. So Query and Drain to draw a card. Cradle's a really nice draw. Wildborn Preserver. Flash and Reach. Interesting. Whenever another non-human creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay X. When you do, put X possible counters on it. Okay. I think I'm just going to most likely lose this turn, but we can definitely play it out. The Reach is actually really nice against our combo as well. This might be something like a Heritage Druid. I'd actually love to have a Tabernacle in the sideboard of this deck. We do run a fair amount of creatures, but I think against the decks where it's really good, it's going to impede them a lot more than it is us. Alright, so here we'll definitely sack the Savannah and go and get Ancient Tomb. See what we draw. Another Giver. So I'm pretty happy here just getting a Plains, playing a Giver, and then holding up Elvish Reclaimer. So my opponent does have a turn here. Actually, they have 2 turns. We do have access to Maze of Ith as well, but it does come in tapped. Looking at our board, we don't have too many cards that we want to bring in. Most likely just the Path to Exiles. Maybe the Sylvan Library, but it could be a little bit too slow. mean, this Preserver by itself could really get there as just a really great way to get some damage through. At least it doesn't have Trample. Just Flash and Reach, thankfully. But, you know, a chump here is something that I definitely have to look out for. So what do I want to do here? I could actually block with a creature and then sack and get Steppe, giving pro green. But I'm not sure if that's where I want to be. I'm not sure if that's a winning strategy. I don't mind just chumping here with the Giver. Because if we get Steppe, we can sacrifice his Snow-Covered Plains and then untap, play a land, and then have enough to Ancient Tomb for Dark Depth and also copy. So I think that's fine. So let's block. And then before damage, sack this Snow-Covered Plains. Get a step. Give a pro green. This is a matchup where I think green-black depths definitely has a good advantage, especially with Plague Engineer in the sideboard. Or you might be even playing something like Liliana of the Last Hope. Alright, getting an untap, nice. Savannah. So let's just play a land and pass. So again, it's really Crater Hoof or bust for our opponent. They do have 5 cards, so it's definitely not... Yeah, with a glimpse as well, which is really nice. Maze of Ith, of course, is not an option because it comes in taps, so... Our best Maze of Ith option is really just getting Dark Depths, getting the combo and having a 20/20 that's indestructible. I mean, it's very close to just there for my opponent. Drawing so many cards, surely they can hit either a Crater Hoof or just a Natural Order. I'm assuming because they put so much mana into this Wildborn, they actually drew another Cradle for turn. I have seen Containment Priest in some sideboards, which definitely seems great against this matchup. Stopping Natural Order and Green Suns is really nice. It does stop our own Green Suns, but it's a case of it impeding our opponent a lot more than it impedes us. Looks like they may have just hardcast. Green Suns. X equals 8, okay. Crater Hoof is a concession. Alright. So this will be quite interesting. I'm not too sure what we don't like. We definitely like Sylvan Library and Paths. I don't think anything else really warrants. What don't we like? Pretty sure Sylvan Safekeeper can most likely come out. And also the Tomiks. And maybe the Skoos. I don't mind that. I think that's a pretty easy switch up. Gaddock Teeg, of course, stops Natural Order and Green Sun Zenith, which also stops our own Green Sun Zenith, but of course, again, it's just a little bit worse for them. Night of Autumn's fine, especially if they bring in something like Pithing Needle. Ramunap Excavator is great, just getting back lands and maybe wastelanding our opponent out if possible, or at least keeping them off Cradle. Reclaimers are great, Crop Rotation's great. Let's just go with this sideboard plan and hopefully it sticks. I could bring in the Pithing Needle if I really wanted it, but I'm not too sure if it's better than something here. Most likely naming either Quirion Ranger or... This is an interesting hand because we have a turn 1 Mox, but we don't have another mana to follow it up with. We could go something like turn 1 Elvish Reclaimer, turn 2 Sylvan Library, but I think that's a little bit too slow. We then do have something like a turn 3 Teeg with Green Sun Zenith. The Sylvan Library is really nice, but I kind of want it as a turn 1 play. Especially as a turn 2 play, it might be just a little bit too slow, and our opponent might be able to get something like a Reclamation Sage out that early, and we actually won't get any value of this library. It does have kind of everything we want except for a second land, which, you know, a turn 1 Reclaimer isn't too bad. I think I'm pretty happy to keep this and see how we go. So it'll be Mox, getting rid of Maze of Ith, Steppe, Reclaimer pass. Green Suns for Dryad Arbor is fine. Catacombs, okay. Not too bad. So I definitely like Sylvan Library. And then... I think this path has a better target than just the Dryad Arbor. So I'm pretty happy to attack here. And then even hold up just Dryad Arbor to see if they even want to attack into it. But the fetch is also going to be nice with the Sylvan Library. So trying to keep it around for as long as I can is probably a little bit better. They're going to Glimpse. I wonder if in response I just want to path this. I guess we'll see what they cast first. Hopefully they don't play Quirion Ranger. Okay, so in response to that, I might actually get rid of this Dryad Arbor. They can still return the Bayou, but hopefully it slows them down by not being able to get 2 mana out of it by untapping the Dryad Arbor, returning the Bayou, playing the Bayou. Interesting. That's not too bad. Depths is quite nice. Stage is also really nice. I'm going to put back the Knight. I think we want to keep both of these, but we want a Green Suns for Gaddock Teeg this turn. So play a land. Green Suns for 2. And just pass. We could attack here, but I kind of want to keep back the Reclaimer. I guess it doesn't really matter because they can attack with both of these and then Pendelhaven anyway, so we might as well attack here. And if they want to actually double block here, I'm more than happy to kill the Quirion Ranger. Druid, okay, so a lot of mana. Scooze, okay. I'm definitely putting this on top. And I think I'm keeping the path here, just in case things get out of hand. I don't think I can afford to pay for this giver. Because we play the Dark Depths this turn, it means we have to keep up 2 mana and Thespian Stage, leaving us with 1 mana to play with. So it's either Giver or Path, and I think Path is just better at instant speed. Kind of hope my opponent doesn't have like a Abrupt Decay here for the end step. I could go after the Wirewood here. It's probably the creature that stands out the most at the moment. But I think I'm happy for now waiting. Am I? Yeah. Unless they cast or Green Suns for 2 an Elvish Visionary, then I think I'm happy just keeping the Wirewood up. This path is really for the creature with reach. The new card, but I'm not too sure what it's called. Okay, so let's just... I wonder if they have Assassin's Trophy. That's interesting. Because now we have a Steppe up as well. And then it's going to concede. Okay. So just too slow, obviously, for them. So nice to get up. I think the Pithing Needle is good enough, even though on the draw, I think it's just good enough to slow them down by naming something like Wirewood. And maybe making them search out a Reclamation Sage to destroy it. which just buys time. I don't mind Thalia on the play, but of course we're on the draw here. I think here I'm actually happy enough just to drop out a Dark Depths. Could also just be Bojuka Bog. Just to drop one land out, especially on the draw. So let's go ahead with this. Tomik's always interesting because if they play Assassin's Trophy, then Tomik actually seems pretty good, but maybe it's better than Knight of Autumn. But if they bring in something like Pithing Needle themselves, we don't have a way to deal with it. So I'm pretty happy just having the Knight just in case, and even as a 4/3 beater, it's quite nice. The gaining life can be relevant as well, so we'll submit this and see how it goes. Interesting. I think this is pretty good. We have a turn on Once Upon a Time. And then we also have a Mox Diamond start for Thespian stage with crop rotation up. So I'm going to keep this. There's no point Once Upon a Time in my upkeep, so I'm going to draw, cast this. Thespian stage, Karakas. I think here I'm happy taking the Savannah. We can even now just cast a turn 1 Gaddock Teeg, which is quite nice. Drop the forest. I'll then play a Windswept Heath. Fetch up Savannah. Play Teeg. Stops Green Sun Zenith, which is really nice. Looks like a decay from our opponent. On the Mox Diamond, interesting. That's going to be fine. Needle. I can name Quirion Ranger here, which I don't mind. Quirion Ranger. I'm going to play Thespian stage for turn. And then pass. Actually, I can attack, but I kind of think my life total is a little bit more vulnerable than theirs. So I'm going to hold back Teeg as a 2/2. I want to play stage there because if I draw into another crop rotation, we can actually sack one for Ancient Tomb and sack the other for Dark Depths and then go off. My opponent also has only 3 cards in hand, so I kind of hope one just isn't some sort of draw. And it's just a pass back. Interesting. Green Suns. I wonder if I want a Once Upon a Time here. Or just hold up Savannah. Either way, we can crop end step, so I'm pretty happy to Once Upon a Time here. Ouch. That's pretty funny. Let's just pass back. Interesting. So maybe I actually should have green sunned for Dryad Arbor, so we at least definitely had Decay on Needle. That's gonna be fine. So we definitely have an extra mana the following turn to go off, because we have to sack one of these lands to crop rotation. Oh, they might even just have Crater Hoof here, which is pretty rough. Which means we have to crop rotation for Maze of Ith. Which never feels great. Alright, what do we draw? Stage. So I guess we can at least we can't even green suns because the Gaddock Teeg. Interesting. We can get another maze with the Savannah next turn, but we're gonna be taking some damage here. Reclaimer, interesting. So if I copy Maze with a Thespian stage, and then we draw into Dark Depths, I don't believe we can actually use it for mana. So that's pretty rough. So I think we might actually take a draw step here and try to draw into an extra mana. Thespian stage becomes a copy of target land, except it has this ability. So it loses the ability to tap for mana, and it gains the ability of untapping a target attacking creature. Catacombs. This not being a fetch was huge, because it means they can't actually make this Elvish Reclaimer yet a 3/4. Looks like they may be getting something like Karakas here, if they have it in their deck. Pendelhaven, okay. That's pretty nice. It's a great way to actually attack with these 1/1s. So here I'm pretty happy to fetch and get the Dryad Arbor out of the deck. It's also a nice blocker. And then also make one of these Thespian stages a copy of Maze. All right, we play the Thespian stage. Can't really attack. It's a weird game. Alright, so we can definitely go to blocks. And I think I'm pretty happy actually going Dryad Arbor here, Gaddock here. Seeing what they do with Pendelhaven. Most likely pump up the Quirine Ranger. So in response, I'm going to remove that from combat. And then I'm going to remove probably the Lenoir from combat. And then we still take 3, 4, 5, 6 and go to 2. I mean, we kind of had to, or else the Pendelhaven pretty much gives them the win. I'm not even sure if we'll... What do we draw? Sadly, I think that's just game. 1, 2... yeah, because they can make the creature that we don't block. Unfortunately, bigger creature. So first game down against Elves, pretty tight one, but you know, probably a little bit of inexperience with the matchup didn't help there. We'll be back for game 2 shortly. My name is Dukes on Twitch. Thanks for hanging out with me.